want to turn it over to Ted. Ted, when you are teaching this case or using this case, what are some of the ways that you use it?
In our EMT classes or advanced EMT classes where we're just introducing EMS to them or an advanced level to the student, we use this in a kind of a guided classroom. We'll bring up the video and we'll walk through. And then we start with, protocol step by step. What are your treatment options? What do you think is going on? Diagnosis, differential diagnosis, and really have the students start this critical thinking aspect of, well, what would I choose to do when based on what I'm seeing? And the 2 minutes or the 3 minute length in this is pretty perfect in that you can kind of stop and start and say, okay, you walk in, this is what you see.
Wow. We'll break some of these different use cases down in a little bit more detail, just to show folks, like with this case, like if you're going to walk through this case, how do you interact with the drawers that are below the case, Ted? Like, what do you use? What do you to draw this stuff out?
Well, for the first runs, of course, we don't really want the students to be looking at the drawers at all because we don't want to give them clues. We don't want them to click on something and then start getting information to where it would be inorganic. It wouldn't be a natural progress for them to go. And as we're walking through the classrooms, in the classroom session, we'll make them ask for this. Okay, this is what I would want now. And then we would start giving them the information in real time like they would have to. I remember way back in the day, we were using TASH trainers or, just heads or anti-resuscitation. And we'd turn around and we'd get kind of a garden hose of information at one time, but it wasn't real. We didn't have to go through the process of, oh, I want to hook them up to the monitor so I can see what their EKG is. I want to get my first set of vitals, and these are the vital signs that I want. So we don't want them to, we want them to work for it a little bit and not just get the information. As we continue on, or as we have these critical thinking exercises, as they're working through the process and say, okay, this is what I think is going on, then we start opening up the drawers and say, okay, this is how this patient presented. Has your decision tree changed at all? Would you do anything different? Are you looking at this patient any differently based off of this real world information that we're starting to get?
Yeah, nice. So each of the cases comes with a lot of information that, like Ted says, can give it away if you just let them have access to it. But you can actually lock these drawers so that then they're forced to think through the case before they get the answers. You can see the diagnosis here is nothing too crazy. Under the outcomes, we will also have supporting materials for the case. So in this case, you can see the 12 lead and you can see some of the other information. Sometimes there's additional videos down here. And then there's a standards of care with links to, this one goes to EMS World and some places that are peer reviewed. And then each case has also been peer reviewed by a physician to make sure that kind of the key takeaways for learners. Ted, looks like we have a question in the chat here. As for students that learn better from a practical aspect, have you found the PVCs to be helpful?
Again, this is, everybody's a different learner. We have students that will sit and lecture and they won't take notes and they'll listen and that's all they need. And then we have our hands-on students that the lecture is where they struggle the most. They have really hard time with foundational work until you put something into their hands. I remember when I was going through paramedic school and they would say, okay, pretend your patient looks like this. And I'm like, I can't pretend that because I don't know what I'm looking at and I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to know. This really does kind of solidify that for the students when they start looking at stuff or they start hearing about things. Okay, your patient may be presenting like this. And then you give them a case with a patient that is very similar to those presentations. Those light bulb moments really start going off for them, and they start to really start to hone in to go, okay, I'm understanding this. I have not only what I'm hearing in lecture, I'm seeing stuff out in the field, but I'm there very pointed with assigning cases that are going along with classroom work so that they get that real world application as quickly as possible.